Transition metals are located in the center of the periodic table and include most metals such as iron, gold, silver, and zinc. Compare the physical properties of transition metals with Group 1 metals for 4 marks. The first thing to point out with this question is that use of the command word compare. That is really important because it means that all of your statements must be comparative statements. So you need to say things like higher or lower or greater. You need to use comparative adjectives, otherwise you won't get the marks. This question requires you to have good knowledge of the properties of transition metals and the properties of Group 1 metals. So when we talk about Group 1 metals, we're looking at the first group of the periodic table, so we're looking at things like lithium and sodium. So, transition metals have higher melting points. That means that they need to be heated up far higher in order for them to turn into a liquid. They have higher densities, so that generally means that they weigh a lot more, but you need to say density rather than weight because they're slightly different things. But generally, they have far higher densities. They have greater strength, so they're far stronger than any Group 1 metal. And they have greater hardness, so that means that they can be bashed around, etc., more than a Group 1 metal. They're far harder and solid. However, these are all generic, and there are some exceptions to that. For example, we know that mercury is a liquid metal, an exception to that rule. But generally, you need to learn those physical properties of transition metals and Group 1 metals, and you need to make comparative statements. Also remember that because they're physical properties, you can't talk about the reactivities because those are chemical properties. This is an example of question that you really need to read carefully.